Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. I am back with a brand new shirt, just like I'm back with a brand new guest. Yes, I have Dominika with me today, talking about her journey on Ready to Love. As always, we want you to be respectful in the chat. Keep it cute. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, but enjoy. In all things, enjoy yourself. How you doing, Dominika, today?
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
That's what I like to hear. Energy, as always, energy. We like that here.
Yes, yes.
Listen, it's good to have you here, and I'm excited to talk a little bit about your journey on Ready to Love as well. I mean, reunion. We just had an episode go by, and everyone is talking strawberries at the moment. So we will talk about that a little bit later on, um, and we'll address that in its due time. Okay,
We will,
but
we will.
all things good come to those who wait. So we're going to be
Yes,
patient with it.
absolutely, absolutely. Say the best for last.
Exactly. Before we get there, let's do a little thing called a human verification, just to get to know who you are a little bit. Make sure that you are actually not a robot, because you're looking beautiful, you're looking fantastically well dressed today as
No,
well.
I'm like, listen, you caught me on a rough week.
No, no, baby, it's just a rough week. We don't want to see what a good week look like. Okay, all right. So you keep
Thank you.
shining. No worries, no worries. So I just got a few questions just to kind of just to roll us in. So my first question is, since we're talking about strawberries, favorite fruit.
Peaches.
Peaches. Okay, cool.
Yes.
We can rock with peaches. Peaches. All right, cool. Favorite color.
Purple.
Ooh, I'm a purple person too. Why purple for you?
It's royalty, it's strong, it stands out, it makes a statement.
I'm with you on that. Yep, definitely with the royalty stuff. I'm liking that. I'm
Yes.
liking that. Okay. You're on a plane, and on this plane, the plane is saying they've got to make an emergency stop, but they've got to choose a country they've got to land in. What country would you want that plane to land in?
China.
Ooh, why China?
I want some more purses.
Okay. Okay. Any particular type of purse?
No, I don't have a favorite thing. I like all things. I don't have
All
a favorite
things.
thing. Most women like, perfume, bras, purses, shoes. I got a little bit of everything. I don't have a favorite thing. I just like things.
Oh, that thing. So, like, let's say, like, I have to obviously buy you a gift. A gift that would be, that would touch your heart. What would that gift be?
It would be something that represents our relationship.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
if we were best friends, we would do charms or something like that.
Okay.
Um, a purse wouldn't melt my heart. I like different
Okay.
stuff. I like for you to be
Yes.
different and authentic. I like for it to be personalized.
All right. So a charm. Just writing that down. A charm. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And what would work to what would make you feel like you're loved? I just want to I just did some research.
You talking
Nothing
about
else.
a thing or an action?
And let's say an action.
Yeah.
Just want to. What'd make you
Um,
feel loved? Just to.
so my love language is showing. I like for people to show me.
Oh,
I've heard it all before. So I like to just say, open up the door with flowers in your hands or balloons that say, I was thinking about you.
okay.
Meet me at the nail shop. I knew you was here. I just came to pay for your services.
Acts of
So my
service.
love language is action.
Okay, so you're an acts of service person. Oh,
Yes.
I'll keep that in mind for you when I see you next. All right, cool. I
Okay.
think you've passed. You are a human. You've passed, Dominica.
Thank you.
No worries at all, baby. No worries at all. Listen, we want to open up the conversation though by asking this question like we always do, which is Dominica. Who is Dominica and what is Dominica's story?
Dominika is a mom, a daughter,
Okay.
a sister, a auntie, and a grandma.
Love that.
Dominika is fearless. Dominika is brave. I'm stronger than I think I should be.
Mm. Mm.
um, and I say that because I always tell people whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. So
Okay.
with me being sick and stuff like that, I still get up, I still move, I still go. And if I never told you my story, you would never know it. And I honestly believe because it's mind over matter. So my mind
Mm.
is strong. I'm a hard worker. I'm loving. I'm giving. I am loud, as most have already said, even though
Nothing wrong with that,
I
baby.
like to party. Um, I love happy hours. That's
Mm-hmm.
my favorite. What else can I tell you about me? I'm funny. I think I'm funny. Well, people think I'm funny. Um,
Okay.
I
With
love
you.
people. I love people. And
I
that's
love it.
pretty much
Yeah,
who I am.
I love it. Now you said you was a grandma. I said, baby, where and how?
Oh my God, I am. And he is the love of my life. He came at a perfect time, even though I was like, oh my God, I'm not ready. But they say God don't make no mistakes.
Come on now.
And when the Lord gave him to me, he came perfect at the perfect time for me. It was my first year being single, and so he's 5 years old now, and I've been 5 years single. So he's been my little ride or die. I am a grandma. I'm 42 years old, and I love my grandbaby. So yes, I am a grandma. Everybody, when I say that, especially if I'm at a bar, happy hour, the whole bar is like, "Let me see your ID." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a
Uh,
grandma."
that was gonna be my next step. Let me see your ID.
Yes, I am a grandmother.
Wow. Okay, I love that as well. Okay, I mean, listen, that's pretty impressive. Listen, I would have never thought that. I would have never
Yeah,
thought it.
I am a grandmother.
It's nice to know that. Okay, so obviously being a grandma, being a mom as well, like you said as well. Motherhood is never it's something that is a beautiful thing. And sometimes actually we don't get to hear the stories of mothers. We don't get to hear some of the journeys of that. We see you on Ready to Love, we see what happens there. But tell us a bit more about this journey into motherhood. Like how's that been for you? How's it been, being a mother,
So, as a teenage mom, let me say
Hmm.
that I had my daughter at 18.
Okay.
I gave up my full scholarship to Morris Brown. Even though
Wow.
my parents was like, we'll keep her and you can go and we got her. And I was like, no, I'm staying because I don't believe, especially a daughter. I feel like every mom that has a daughter should raise their daughter.
Wow.
So I stayed and I went to school locally. There were times I had to take her to school with me. When I was going to Miami Dade, I had to take her with me. And thank God that I had professors that understood that I was young and I was trying to make it happen. And then I stopped going to college because I got pregnant with my son. They're 18 months apart. And then I
Okay.
was like, whoa, because I went from not wanting any kids to two. So I had a boy and a girl. I'm like, I'm not having any more kids because what else can I have at this point? I got the best of both worlds. At that time, their dad was really active, and of course, we were still together, so he was doing everything. When my son got 3 years old, my daughter is turning 5 at that particular time. I decided that enough was enough with him. I broke up with him. For the first
Wow.
couple of years, he still was doing really great, but then he just decided to do when he wanted to do. I'm gonna
Mm.
do this, or I don't have it, or I can't do this. So for the most part, since they was my son maybe was second grade, my daughter is fourth grade, I've been a single mom. But I've provided and I've given them everything. I love to tell. Well, my mom loved to say, "You've given them kids everything but your kidney, one of your kidneys." So I provided for them. I gave them the best thing. My daughter graduated from Clark Atlanta University with a bachelor's degree in 2020, and my son graduated December 9th from criminology.
Wow.
So I did it alone. I finished school from FLOMO 2006. I got my degree in sociology, and we did it. We did it as a team. There was times I didn't have, they didn't know, but if I said we were eating noodles, they was okay with that. Like these kids that say, "Oh, I don't want it," or "I'm not eating that," or "Can I have this?" I've never experienced it. Even with my grandson, I started telling his mom, "Oh, I don't know how to help you with that part because my kids were never like that." So they're not the best kids, but I can tell you they're far from the worst. They're the regular kids that do the regular things. And I'm grateful for that as being a single mom. I kind of always struggle with doing the right thing for my son because they, contrary to what people believe, they say that women can't raise men. The
Mm.
only thing I can give him is how a woman should be treated. At 16,
Mm.
he did have a baby. And I promised him then that if you go do your part and go off to college, I'll do my part as a grandma. And from that day forward, I have did everything for my grandson. I have taken the slack for my son. I have prayed for him. I have supported him because it was a little rough at first being 16, you having a baby. He just didn't understand it. Nobody understood it. It was like I talked, I preached, where you at, put the track on the phone, everything that I could have possibly done as a parent. I did that with my children. It's just something that happened. Everybody was a little stumped at first, but like I said, my grandson was the best thing that happened to me. He came in at a low part of my life when I was going to therapy, but he helped build me. He's a part of my build. And so we're just grateful for that. So my kids turn out to be great. Both of them are college graduates from a single Black mom. What more can I ask for?
Wow. Whew, that is a journey.
Yes.
Listen, that is a
Yes.
journey.
I can tell single moms, and I talk to my sister and my little cousin, and I just tell them that the Bible says that if you take care of your kids and your parents, your blessings will flourish like I don't know what. So keep going. It seems hard, but trust the process, because I trust the process. That's all I had at the time. I trust the process, and everything went great.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
I would love to know more. I'm intrigued. I would love to know more in terms of, for you personally, having to navigate schooling and being a mum at the time as well. I know at the beginning you had help as well. So tell us a bit more about that particular aspect of life, how you were navigating it and how you were coping, balancing that act of wanting freedom, doing your own thing, being a mom, going to school, growing up, learning new things about life. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
So my parents was really, really good with that. I had a really good boss. So let me take you back. So Kayla, which is my daughter, she was going to school with me. And then when I had Leon, I stopped. And once I stopped, Leon was a little bit like 1 or 2. My mom would pick him up from the daycare, and Kayla would then go to Flomo with me. And then once Kayla got 5, Leon got 4, they were able to go to the park for Optimus. So Kayla would cheer, Leon would either play football or baseball. And so that way, when I dropped them off at 5, I have a 5:30 class. By the time I get out at 7:30, I'm back at the park because I was going to a park in Hialeah. School, the off campus in Hialeah, and I put them in a park nearby. So it gave me time to get to the park at 8:00, let out practice to pick them up. And so that's how it was going. And then I had a really good boss that I can take some morning classes. So he would let me put in some leave, go take some morning classes, and come back to work. So that's how I kind of juggled it for the rest of the years to get completed. With them being in sports and Optimus and stuff, I can take an afternoon class, and then I had like 1 or 2 morning classes to complete. And I had a really good boss that said, you know what, go in, just put in your time, add it to your lunch, and then come back. So that's how that worked out. So with my parents, my boss, and them putting them in Optimus close by my school, that's how I survived.
My God. So obviously you had a schedule going. How did becoming a young mom impact you personally? Because that's not an easy thing for you to navigate. So of course you're killing it in terms of getting your schedule up. You're managing to get work. Your parents are supporting you. All those components are working together for all things good.
Right.
How did you handle that mentally? What was happening with you at the time?
To be honest, I didn't think about it. And that's why when I told people when I did go to therapy, it wasn't even about my breakup with the relationship. It was healing for me. Like there were things that I thought I knew about myself, that I really didn't know, that the therapist brought out. I thought I loved myself, but I was somebody who couldn't even go eat dinner by myself. I wouldn't go to the movies by myself. And those were things that she made me look at a different light. So a lot of things I covered up because I felt like I can't stop now. I have 2 people dependent on me. I can't stop now. I have to keep going. I could tell you as an adult, I don't like schedules. I feel like I've been on a schedule all my life. And people say, if I go out to happy hour, people are like, why you didn't tell me? It was something I got up and I did. I have no children. I have no man to answer to. I could come and go as I want to. If I don't want to do it, I don't have to do it. So then I just covered it up. Now I don't want a schedule. I don't want to be on a schedule. I don't want to have to put things in perspective. I just want to do what I want to do because I've been on a schedule my whole entire life, seemed like. Even with my daughter going off to college, I still would fly to everything she was in because she was into everything, and I would have to do that. And my son is a little bit more chilled and laid back, so I really don't have to rip and run in Tallahassee like I had to go to Atlanta. But that's what I did. I just put everything in hindsight, and then as I became an adult and started therapy, I figured out, this was it. Like, I didn't even hold conversations maybe like I should have, because the therapist like, do y'all sit at the dinner table? I'm like, no, I cook and they eat. And she like, when you're eating dinner though, that's the most important part. And she was like, think about it when you're on a date. Like, people share so much at dinner because you just yourself. You just calm, cool, and relax. And I was like, I never had thought about that. I just was like coming home, going back and forth, taking them to the park, picking them up from practice, sitting out there. I even started coaching cheerleader because I was sitting out there all them years. So for 7 years, I even coached youth cheerleaders because I was just there, and everything was my kids, my kids, my kids. So I didn't even realize that I lost myself because I had to go.
And when you say you lost yourself, you talked about not even being able to go places by yourself. How did you rediscover you then? How did you rediscover finding you? Because being a mom is all consuming.
Becoming single, and my kids no longer depended on me like that. So I was able to function and do things. Therapy and becoming single. I started dating myself. I just start enjoying myself. I went to LA for a week by myself. I went to Bahamas for 5 days by myself. And I just started enjoying myself. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is who I am. I've been operating on mommy mode for so long and didn't even realize it because it was just day-to-day routine. This is what you have to do. You have to get up. They have to go to school. They have to pay for this. They have to pay for that. So just really enjoying life where I don't have a schedule. I can do what I want to do. I can go to these places by myself and it's okay. I've met some amazing people by myself. Amazing, amazing people just sitting at the bar by myself. So that's how that happened. Therapy and single.
So obviously the relationship was obviously a big part of your journey as well, in terms of becoming a mother as well. Of course it is, but how was that like then for you? Because obviously relationships and the nature of romantic relationships, our perspective on them change as we get older, because we consider different things. Looking back now at that relationship, what was that relationship like to you, and what did it mean to you at the time?
My last relationship, or with my kid's dad?
Oh, with your kid's dad. Sorry, I should have said it specifically. My bad.
That relationship was forced. And so I don't know if you ever heard the saying, like, people live in a white picket fence. And so because we had 2 children, I felt like we needed to make it work. You understand what I'm saying? We needed to be together. We needed to make it work for the children. He came from a 2-parent household. I came from somewhat of a 2-parent household. So, like, we got these 2 children. He had a son and a daughter prior to my 2 children. Like, we just need to make it work. We need to build a home. We need to build a home for our family. And so I stayed for 10 years trying to build a home that no bricks was laid, no foundation was laid, constantly cheating, didn't put us first. I was putting us first. I was trying to make it happen until one day I just decided it's enough. And when I decided it was enough, it was like he had an eye opener. And so he fought and I just, like, I love hard, but when I'm done, I'm done. And I haven't been back, and I don't think I will ever go back because I stayed to the fullest. I stayed through everything. I try everything before I fully walk away. And so when I left, it just was like, and he was like, he can't believe me. I'm like, where you been in? You've been missing for 10 years. Now you relevant in the relationship. It just don't work like that.
That is never easy as well. I mean, especially because, like I said, that's the father of your kids, and
Mhm.
like I said, you fought valiantly for 10 years as well within that relationship, trying to make it work because you do try to do your best,
Mhm.
um, what were some of the learns that you gathered from that relationship then?
I can't even say because
I
I went back to another relationship forcing it to work.
understand.
And a lot of it probably had to do with that sense of just wanting somebody there.
I hear
And we
you.
probably already all been through it, just
Yeah.
wanting somebody there. And I don't like change a lot, and I don't like change a lot because I had my children. I think when you're setting
Mm,
a foundation, like bringing different people in and out your house and allowing your kids to see stuff like that, it's just totally different when you're a mom.
I hear
Well, it
you.
may be like that for a dad. I'm gonna say parent. It's totally
Mm,
different to keep having different people come in and leave and come in and leave. And with me, I don't think men understand that. Well, the men I've dated, you understand what I'm
mm,
saying? Like, that's important to me. A foundation for my kids, even though I was a single mom, I needed that foundation for me. So I would stay a lot longer than needed to be.
okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And
Mm,
then once I started therapy, it's like you're going into something wanting to be a wife and doing wife things for people that ain't even willing to wife kind of thing.
mm,
And it's because of stability for me. I don't like the changing. That's a lot for me. And so now I'm looking at things a whole lot different. I have zero tolerance, and people will look at it like, oh, you easy to run and you easy to walk away. No, I've been there before and I know what I want. So if you ain't giving me what I want right off the hand, I'm out. It's no need.
mm,
I've wasted enough time. Like, I don't have
mm,
time, and I'm not longing to be in a relationship. And I thank God every day I open my eyes. I'm not, because you run into so many women that has to have a man. They have to have somebody there. I'm actually, I be like, I have to get myself prepared because I'm ready for my husband, but I don't know if I'm
no,
ready like that, because I really
mm,
enjoy my singleness. I've enjoyed my
mm.
singleness, and it probably has a lot to do with just me learning myself and how I enjoyed the process.
I'm with you on this, man. I
Yeah.
totally understand. No, I definitely do, man. I definitely get, especially when you're enjoying singleness and actually just enjoying being in your company and having the freedom to do as you please. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially like I said, if you've had a set routine where it's restricted you for a long time, this is now the time to
Absolutely.
kind of just to be able to let your wings free and feel the air, a little bit. So
Absolutely.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
I do get that. That makes a whole lot of sense, especially for you. You mentioned something. You you were talking about, for instance, your parents. You kind of touched it briefly. You didn't necessarily say much. You kind of touched your parents. What was it like for you growing up then? So, what was your kind of upbringing like? What was that like for Dominica?
So my dad had a wife and my mom. So I
Yeah.
have I have a brother from my mom.
Oh.
I have a brother from my dad and a sister from my dad, but I'm in between that brother and the sister from my dad.
Ooh. Okay.
Um, I can say that my dad has always kept us close. He raised us as sister and brother. It's not like I was a child that was hidden. I wasn't a child that nobody knew about his family, my sisters, my brother, his wife at the time. She ended up leaving, and then he ended up coming to be with me and my mom. So that's why I said I was in a somewhat two-parent household, because he
Mm,
wasn't absent per se, but he didn't live there at first. He was
I get
living
you.
in two different places.
I get
So
you.
I that's it. I'm the middle of my brother and my sister, who both have the same mom. But we've
Mm,
always had a great relationship. It was like all of us was a big family. My mom, they call my mom mom, I call their mom mom. It just worked out. It was something, I guess, back in the days that they worked out, because I don't know if that could work out in 2022.
I hear that. I mean, what for you then? Obviously, what did you observe then about that relationship then for you? Like, because as kids, I remember when I was younger, and I looked at some of the things my parents did, and I said to myself, yeah, that thing, I'm not going to do that.
That thing
And
is
that
not.
I will, but that, no. What was for you? What did you kind of observe?
So that's the thing. That's the thing for me. And that's why cheating is a non-negotiable for me. And a man raising his voice is a non-negotiable. My mom and my dad argued a lot. I don't argue in relationships, especially if my kids is around, because that took a toll on me. Like if I was going for the weekend, I would be calling my mom, being like, "You okay?" Like checking up on her to make sure she's okay. That's unhealthy. That's
Yeah,
that's an unhealthy environment.
I agree.
Um, so cheating and fussing and arguing, I'm not doing. I'm not doing. We can have a disagreement and we can agree to disagree all day. We will argue, but to raise your tone or to stand over me, like me and my dad had this joke. He'd be like, "I would never date you," and I said, "I would never date you." So we are even. We are even. We always have that joke, like, "Oh my God, I would not date you," and I would not date you either. So we are even.
We good.
Yes.
No, I understand that. Yeah, I mean, and I appreciate
And
you
they
sharing
say
that.
most women date their dad.
They do. Did you
They
find
they
that out? That similar for you?
no.
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 Did you go to the complete opposite?
Yes.
Okay, that's also possible as
And
well.
so
Yeah.
maybe it's just my trauma that I took in, which really wasn't, may not be trauma for everybody, but it was my trauma.
Hey,
Maybe that's the
trauma,
reason
trauma.
why.
Hmm.
But no, I don't. I've never dated a man that reminded me of my dad.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. We can also go to the opposite side as well. So that's totally
Yeah.
fair as
I
well.
think I switched the mark.
Okay. All right. So for you then, obviously, then growing up, like I said, you had other siblings as well. You said you weren't. It wasn't like you were far, but it also wasn't necessarily close. What was that kind of experience like for you then? Because obviously you have two children as well, so I'm assuming that is probably a big thing for you, wanting them to be close and everything. Because sometimes we try to, I guess, foster something that we necessarily might not have had. So for you, what was the experience growing up with I guess half siblings, you want to call it that?
It was good. I actually kind of raised my little sister, you know.
Okay.
My older brothers, of course, was doing whatever they were doing because they were older. My second older brother lived everywhere, just moved and lived everywhere. So he was never stable here in Miami. But as far as my little sister, like I took her shopping, I did her hair. Whenever you saw me, you saw her, and we're still like that to the day. Like we talk every day on the phone. She's not gonna make a decision without contacting me or asking me what I think. So it was good. It wasn't a bad situation at all.
Oh,
She's
okay.
actually how I got on Ready to Love.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So she saw something and posted it to you.
Actually, her stylist, she lives in Tampa. Her stylist was
Okay,
telling her about one of her friends applied, and she was telling my sister, like, you should
fantastic.
go on. And then she was like, girl, I don't even have a personality. And my sister was like, but I know who would be perfect for her. And she called me and she was like, her hairstylist was telling her about it. Go on and apply. I think you would be perfect for it. And I went on and applied. So that's exactly how I found out about it, my little sister.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
like that. Would you say, okay, so you obviously, two sisters.
No, I
Would you
have
say
one
you're more,
sister, two
sorry,
brothers.
one sister, sorry,
Yeah.
apologies. Two brothers. Would you say you're more of a daddy's girl, more of a mummy's girl? How would you just
Neither.
describe you?
Neither.
Neither. Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm not.
Wow.
It might. Let me tell you this. So my mom was a mail carrier for 37 years. And like I said, my daddy didn't really live in the house with us. He would come by, he would make sure we were good, but he didn't live there. So majority of my life, I kind of like lived my own life. My mom was working overtime and everything. I knew to go to school, do my work, come home when it get dark. If my mom isn't there, be in the house when it get dark. I was very self-sufficient, if you want
Mm,
to say. Like my
same.
mom could trust me with anything. Still to this day, I handle everybody personal business. I have everybody's social security card, everybody credit. And I've just always did my own thing. So it wasn't like I had parents that I could cuddle up under or tell this story to, because they really wasn't there. My mama was working. Whatever I wanted, she provided for me. Money was never an issue. Whatever I wanted from my dad, it was never an issue. I got everything I wanted. I went everywhere I wanted to go. So I think because me just being having to make decisions and being self-sufficient and me asking them and they never saying no, I just was always on the beat of my own drums. And I think that has a lot to do with it. And I've just started thinking about that question since I've been on the show, because a lot of people have asked me, like, are you a mama's girl or a daddy's girl? And I'm like, I'm neither. So I needed to revisit that in my head, like, why aren't you a mama's girl or a daddy's girl? And that's the solution that I came up with, is that I've always just been self-sufficient, doing everything. And then as I got older, I'm still doing everything for my kids, my mom, my dad. Even though we have siblings, they're going to wait for me to come to do it. So I think that's why I'm neither.
Does that get tiring?
Very.
Being in that position?
Very. And so now I've become selfish, not in a bad way, but I'm okay to say not today. Before, I would never say no. I'm at a position where I can say, I'm somebody calling, I'm not going to answer. I don't feel like it right now. If they ask me, can you do this? Not today. And it took me forever to get there, even bring tears to my eyes, even talking about it, because I never would say no matter the time, no matter the day, no matter the hour. I never would say no. And now I'm okay with saying no. I'm okay to say, listen, that's not a conversation that I'm willing to have. Whatever happened. I don't want to feed my spirit with it. I'm okay with that. And it took forever to get there, but it's the most rewarding thing that I could ever give myself, is to say no. It's to be selfish with me. No, not today. Not today. Or not answer, because I don't want to answer, and not feeling guilty about saying no or not answering. Yes, it got real tiresome. Absolutely.
Yeah, listen, it is not easy. Like, growing up in a household where you are having to be self-sufficient. I think a lot of times we, I could only talk about the Black community, I don't know about anyone else's community, but we do sometimes over-celebrate independence from a young age. But what it does is that it forces you to become an adult so quickly, and you're forced to take on decisions and make decisions really, really early. And whilst that's great in terms of navigating the world and making sure that, you become streetwise, you become very slick, emotionally it is tiring.
But it's
tiring. But it's tiring. And I think that's why I was asking that, because it's like, I can understand I'm a firstborn, so I know it gets, you take on a lot.
You take on a lot.
And that can be difficult.
It can. And that's why I answer when I want to answer, and I'm quick to say, it ain't nobody that I'm their next to kin. I got 2 people I'm their next to kin. My 2 kids. If they call, I answer. Anybody else, if I don't feel like it, I don't do it. And when I used to don't do it, I used to beat myself up. Oh my God, I should have answered. Or, oh my God, I shouldn't have said no. Like, constantly going back in my head, like, why did I say no, or why didn't I do it now? No, even my parents, not today. I can't today. Today is about me. I can't.
How difficult was that journey getting to there? Like, how difficult was that getting to that place? Because family is difficult.
I told you, I beat myself up, like, dang, I should have just went, or I should have just answered, or I should have just said. I beat myself up. And it wasn't even just with my parents and my siblings. It was with everybody surrounding me, because I always needed to feel like I needed to be there when somebody called. I needed to be that. They called me, I needed to be there. It was hard. It was really hard, but it was the best thing I could have gave me, the best gift I could have gave me. Like, no, not today. Not today.
Was that, as getting to that point of being able to establish boundaries, was that through the therapy, or was that before therapy that you got that? Okay.
No, through therapy. No, absolutely.
Well, I know obviously that you're going through a few things there from that, but what was the catalyst to take you to therapy? Because, like, a lot of people go through heartache, relationship issues, family issues, and still don't go to therapy.
It was definitely the relationship.
Okay.
I was like, okay, something, I don't know if it's me, I don't know if it's them. So let me go check on me.
Come on now.
Let me go check on me. Because I can't make nobody do nothing. I can't heal nobody if I'm not healed. So let me go check on me. And when I went, I discovered it hadn't, I needed to go for me. We didn't even really discuss the relationship as much. Even like after my third time, she kept saying, like, why do I still answer the phone for those particular ex? Like, am I looking for an apology? And I would say to her, like, once I've forgiven somebody wholeheartedly, like, I'm done. Once I get to the point of forgiving, I can answer the phone for them, because it ain't gonna be nothing more than a no or really that's what happened kind of thing. And so after the third week, I said, listen, I've discovered that I have way more things to talk about than my ex. I need to talk about me. So I had to stop her because she wanted to keep revisiting, because of course, when I went, that's what I told her. I had a bad breakup, and she wanted to stick to that. But in the process, the more and more I analyze stuff and I start talking and being just open and candid with her, I start realizing that no, it's deeper. This is deeper than just the relationship. So the relationship sent me there, but it started getting deeper internally. So it went a whole nother route.
I love that, man. I love that. That's it's a powerful thing, man, because it helps for those of us who go to it. It helps us, just be able to navigate with some extra tools,
Yes.
some of the things that we're seeing, but can't necessarily always articulate what we're actually dealing with. So
Absolutely.
I definitely understand that. Definitely understand that.
Absolutely.
So obviously we spoke a little bit about your father as well, and obviously your mum was a hardworking, working her socks off, trying to provide for you. What was the relationship like? Because obviously you're not mama's mama girl, you're not daddy's girl. What was the relationship like for you then, for you and your mum? What was that like then, growing up?
I don't know. It just was, hey ma, how you doing? I need this, I need that. So let me say this with being a mom. I'm two different moms with my children, because they are two different people. Anybody know that when you're parenting, there's no book to it. If you got 4 children, you're 4 different moms.
Yeah.
And what I realized is that maybe I was a little too self-sufficient, where she didn't feel like she needed to check on me. And this was another thing that I discovered in therapy, is that I wanted her to check on me. But you know how you got that strong child
Strong,
or
no?
that
Come on now.
strong
I'm
friend
good.
that people feel like she don't need to be checked on because she got
Yeah.
it. And I think that's what I later figured out, was that, yeah, she was checking on my brother and she'll be making sure my brother good and talk to him, but I wouldn't talk to her for days. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was missing that in hindsight. Yeah, I was really missing that. And I didn't realize I was missing that, because I just felt like, because I always said I got it, or I'm good, I got it, she didn't need to check on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as a parent, my daughter is free. My son is somebody that I constantly check on because he's quiet and laid back. That was a problem with me and my daughter. And so when she got in the 8th grade, her 7th and 8th grade was really bad for us together. And so she just said to my mom, like, she doesn't listen. She doesn't listen. She just yells. She just dictates. And I didn't even get mad, because on my way home from work, I'm thinking about our relationship and how I communicate with her. And I was that way. I was that way. And so I started doing mommy and me dates. I started going to lay across her bed and have conversations with her. And I changed the narrative, because I didn't want that. I didn't want that. So it's kind of like, I don't want to repeat what I went through as a child, so I'm trying to fix it. But at the same time, I didn't never channel in on what did I really go through as a child? What was I missing? Until therapy. And that's when I found out, listen, you wanted her to check on you. You wanted her to say, listen, I know you over there with them kids. You got it. Let's go out to eat. Let's do this or let's do that. But because she'll call and I'll be like, oh, we good. I cooked dinner. you know, the grandkids, she always gonna look out for her. For me, it was like, she got it, Dominique got it. And it was not until when I was getting ready to buy my house, I went back to live there for a couple of months. I would hear her say how proud she was of me and how much she loved me as being a mom and a grandma, and how I take care of the kids and how I take care of the family. I had never heard that. Like, she's never said it to me. I'm hearing this on a phone conversation. Like, and she's never said it to me. So I overcompensate when it comes down to my kids. On telling them like, oh, that was awesome that you did that. Oh, you doing that? That's great. I'm active. I show up. You know, I support kids because I realized that was something I was missing. I felt like I had it going on back in the days because you know how you think you're wrong. So when
Trust me.
you know, you was missing it. You was missing it.
I love that you shared that, man. That's such a real thing. And I can see the comments also kind of really connecting at this point as well. And I think, I can really identify with what you're saying here in terms of being strong. And I think even as when you're younger, you do feel like you've got it, right? You're handling things before it's time. And I think it's only when you look back, you kind of look back and you look a bit more deeper into some of the thoughts that you realize actually there was parts of me that did want help on certain things, but I was so used to being in a position of being grown or being independent. And also I'm a person, I don't like to be a burden on people. So I can see that you're working. I can see you're providing bills. I can see you put the house over my head. I can see you putting clothes on my back. And I know that you're working extraordinarily hard to provide all of this, not just for me, for my siblings too. Right. I don't want to add any more burden to you about my needs.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So I was one of those kids, just give me the money for the field trip, I'll find a ride. Or give me the money for the dance, I'll find a ride. You know what I mean? So, yep, that was me. That was me.
Ooh, Chile. Ooh. Okay.
Yes, that's the inside on Dominica.
No, that's such a powerful thing. And I love this moment because I think a lot of people can really learn and identify with this as well, because I think there are many people in this predicament, in terms of being that person. And you mentioned something so powerful, which is it is that being in strength for so long that it's almost as if you forget you also needed to be cared for as a child, like, because you're looking after everybody else. I think you said you looked after your sister, so naturally, you almost became what we call the third parent in a household, which is you start becoming in that parent mode. And with parents, it's almost like you can't complain. So if you become a third parent,
like that's your job, you got to do it.
You got to do it. There ain't no time to moan. You know what I mean? So, I definitely identify what you're saying there. And I think it's, I think, that's probably one of the hardest things any of us can kind of navigate, because I think it seeps into everything in life. Friends see you and go, okay, Dominica's got it. Okay. And then everyone gets used to you doing things for them.
You got it.
Because
when
you got it.
It's gonna be done. You got it.
Yeah. Did you when you were maybe a bit younger as well, did you attach your value to what you were doing for people? As in, like, your people needing you to do stuff, was that a part of your value system, like in how you valued yourself? Or was that just something that was on your mind?
You know what? Yes, I can honestly say yes. Because it becomes a thing as, I don't do that to people. You start looking for people to give you what you gave them. And in reality, that ain't it.
Yep.
Whatever you do, you got to do it, and you got to mean it from your heart. And if you never get it back, you got to know that God got a blessing with your name on it for doing it. And so I had to get to that point where nobody's you, Dominica. It's only one you. It's only one you. And you love doing it. So stop looking for it in return. Go do it and be at peace with it. So I can say yes, because I had a moment when I used to say, like, I wouldn't do that. Or if they called me, I would have came. Now I'm calling everybody and I don't have anybody to come. I had to stop doing that. I started looking for me and other people that I was taking care of and doing that. I started looking for me, and It just didn't work. It didn't
Mm.
work. Like I had to stop that and realize that, you know, God gave you that because he knew you can handle it. Everybody ain't given that kind of grace. Everybody ain't given the
Mm-hmm.
ability to do it. Everybody not given the ability for everybody to like. So you got to take that grace what he gave you and move on with
Yeah.
it. So yes, at a point I was like that, but I got over it. I just had a reality check.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I love that how you broke that down as well. You know, it's a servant. If someone said it in the chat, it's a servant spirit. You know, if you're given that ability to serve,
Mm-hmm.
it's a double-edged sword. Becoming,
It is.
to be that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, today. Okay, so then after the relationship with your kid's father, that finishes. You said obviously, I know you said you was another relationship where it's more convenient per se, and then obviously get into therapy, everything like that. Relationships after like therapy and everything like that. What was that like for you then? Because
So that is
yeah,
this. That's this
okay,
the 5-year journey.
wow,
Um, I I just wouldn't date. I just for 5 years I just wouldn't date. And last year Thanksgiving, I sat at the dinner table. I think I'm ready for my husband.
mm,
I think I'm ready for my husband. I just was so like didn't want to date. And every time I thought about it, I just thought about, oh, I don't want to be calling anybody. They don't answer their phone. I just kept
mm,
going through the motion like, you know what? This single life, I'm enjoying it. Don't put yourself in emotion until you're ready. And I waited because every time I rehearsed it or I thought about it, I say, you're not healed yet. You gotta go
mm,
healed. You
yep,
gotta you gotta meet somebody healed, regardless of
come
where
on,
you at. And you gotta be true to yourself about it because you don't know nothing about me unless I said to you.
mm-hmm,
And the only way I can be honest with you is that I'm being honest with myself. So
mm,
every time I went back to revisit about the bad relationships, I said, I'm not healed. I don't even want to
mm.
date anybody. And I'm keep saying, oh my God, if he don't answer his phone, I'm gonna think he doing something he not supposed to be doing, or he out somewhere, or I gotta get in my car and ride by his house. I just don't want to do it. So every time I met somebody, I got to that point, I was like, you know what? I'm not ready yet. I'm not healed. Until last year in November, I felt like something just came over me. And I just felt like, you know what? You're ready now. You're ready.
I
So
love
that's
that.
what that journey of after therapy was. It was dating myself. It was healing because even after therapy, um, once my son went, she wanted to see me back because it would just be me. She like, oh, you're gonna need to come back because it's only gonna be in you in the house. And when I went back, I was like, listen, Dr. Forbes, I'm living my best life right now.
I'm
Because she felt
enjoying.
like because the kids left, I was gonna go into a rut. I was gonna be lonely. No, I'm living my best life right now.
I love that. We have a term on this channel called "sit on the bench and heal." So if
Yeah.
if don't get on the field of play if you know you're injured, go sit
Yes,
down,
like
heal up before.
don't do it. Within yourself. And for me, it was every time I revisit, because if he don't answer his phone and if he don't do this and if he do this, and I
Mm,
gotta think that and I'm losing sleep at night, I don't want to do it. I said, I'm not ready yet. You're not healed. Just wait, because you're not
hmm
healed yet. You keep revisiting that bad thing. You're not gonna allow good to come in if you keep revisiting what somebody else did. So I waited.
I love that. You know what? We're gonna need your therapist. we're gonna need to shout them out because I feel like some people gonna need that therapist. Okay,
You have to do the work too now. You
that's
got to
true.
be real with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself, and you have to do the work because there's only so much they can do. They can bring you
That's
to
fair.
a point where, okay, I got you here. You have to do the work. You have to do the work yourself too.
Mm. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm definitely hearing that. The work has to be done on the other side. So
Yes.
you ain't lie. You ain't
Yeah.
lie. So okay, we know that obviously, your sister slid you over to ready to love to get on the show. Um, what made you decide to go on there though? What made you decide to go on there? What was the final catalyst?
When they said you're a finalist, you're going on the show, I wasn't like chasing it. It was just something. I am this kind of person. I will try anything. I will try anything once. Listen, my best friend is married with kids, and she be like, I lived through you. They'll be like, you did that. I'll be like, yeah, I did it. If I like it, I'll do it again. If I don't like it, I won't do it again. So I really went into it just trying it. It wasn't nothing like, oh my God, I know I'm gonna find my husband. I know he gonna be there. I just went into it. And I think a reality check came when they called and was like, where you're gonna be on the show, you're a finalist, then everybody is like, my best friend, my cousin, and my sister, because they was the only two new. Like, oh my God, so what is he there? And oh my God, what you gonna wear? Where your clothes at? That's when it became like a reality. But going through the process, I just went through the process. Like I didn't force it. It was nothing. I just enjoyed the moment. I enjoyed all of the green screens, all the interviews. The producers was very welcoming. They made you feel at home. So it wasn't like I was uptight or scared, because every time I interviewed with somebody, like it was amazing. Like it was nothing, like I feel with you right now. Like I'm just casually talking, and that's how all the interviews went. So it wasn't like I forced anything. I just went with it.
When you first get there, obviously, you first got to the show, you get to the mixer, pool party. Yeah. I need to know, who did your eyes fall upon? Who did you see? Who do you think, that's a little bit of me?
So
First impressions.
Nervous. And two, they had us sitting waiting for so long, and I had to be like, I had went to the gas station like already 3 times, because they give you water, they tell you to stay hydrated, and I kept having to use the restroom. So at this particular time, they like, okay, you like almost up to go in. And I'm like calling my talent producer, like, I have to use I cannot wait anymore. So when I get to the door, all of the cameras is there, but I got a piece so bad. It's the funniest thing. So I'm just like trying to hold my composure and peace. So she like, I just need you to go in and grab your champagne and meet everybody, and then you can go to the bathroom. So my first thing when I go in, I'm just like, hi, just to make my round to get back to the restroom. So when I first walked in, I really didn't eye contact anybody. So once I go get unmiked, go to the restroom, I come back. To be honest with you, there were nobody at first when I went, but everybody conversation, and I say this on every interview, everybody was great. I met some amazing people in this show. Everybody had a conversation. Everybody can hold a conversation, contrary to what it looks like. But there were really nobody. And let me tell you why. Most of everybody was younger than I was and did not have kids. I don't want kids, and I'm not going to date anybody that don't have kids. I'm just not going to do it. And most people would say, like, how do you know he's not the one? Child, I go to the altar too much for him to be the one. God knows not to give me nothing that I honestly don't want. And I don't want any more kids. I have a grandson that's 5. Like, what I'm gonna do with having a baby? So that was, and they were a lot younger than me. I'm 42. The majority of the men is 33, 34, 35. Let me see. Alonzo was older. Justice was older. Mike was older.
Okay.
Calvin didn't stay, for sure.
Yeah.
Justice came and got me, was very assertive with me. We shared a lot of stuff. He was raised by his mom. His mom was a single. I was a single mom. His mom was a single mom. So our conversation went very well. Kind of a match. Red guy, but kind of a match. I like chocolate guys. So Mike walked in long after. He was way after, like one of the last people to come. One of the last men to come. I like chocolate. So, of course, when he walked in, I'm like, damn, they done throw the monkey wrench in it. Now we might be working with something. So, he walked in, and as I can say from appearance, because I like chocolate men, he would be somebody that I would be interested in engaging in. Him and Justice. Though I really didn't get a chance to get have a conversation with Zoe like that. I knew he was older. In group settings, I knew, you know, he was retired, he had a daughter. I knew that, but I didn't have personal conversations with him as far as somebody older who I was interested in. So that was the mixer. The mixer was really like, and then two, people have to understand it's constantly get up, go, talk. And so what you guys don't see a lot is that what we say is not controlled.
Always.
It's not controlled, but the actions and the way that we move and how we have to move, and it shows like we intervening and stuff like that. We're told to do that. That's not nothing. So if you really wanted to have a conversation with somebody, longevity, it wasn't going to happen like that because it's the mixer. So they trying to work everybody around and get you to have a minimal conversation with everybody. It's too many of us. You got to murk the room. And then we're breaking in between. We signing a contract or we can't have our cell phones. We this, we that. So we there from 8 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the morning, but doing different stuff all day. All day you have the mimosas. All day you have the champagne. All day you have the food, you know, the grapes. So you're having conversations in group settings as friends, and then you trying to figure out things about people. And then you got to understand too, when people first meet people, and we had never been on TV. Well, I had never been on TV before, so it was all new for me. You had the cameras in your face, just like. Even at the brunch, when Cherie said that to me, I did not even remember that. I didn't see that until after the show aired, because we saw the show when you guys saw the show. So I didn't even remember having that conversation with her. Like, it went totally over my head. Another thing, we were there, we were drinking champagne all day, early in the morning to late in the afternoon. I didn't even remember that conversation that she told me, oh, you need to tone it down, or whatever it was she said to me. I didn't even remember that because I'm not even set up like that. Like, I know how to stop somebody breaks when I feel like I'm being disrespected. It went right over my head. It went right over my head. So that's how the mixer was. The mixer was just constantly moving. You kind of, it's just like a party. When you go to a party, you kind of connect with the people who vibe in the same thing. And I was really with the same people all night. Swayze, Katie, me, and I think maybe LJ. I think one time Zoe was sitting with us, but for the most part, I was talking to Kay and Swayze the whole time. I didn't really interact with anybody else, not even the women. I think Looney came up to me. I told Brandy, I'm like, oh my God, we would be some really good friends. Even on one of my green screens, which they didn't show, they was like, when you leave here, who would you be friends with? I said Kay and Brandy, because we had the same vibe. And Looney was like, oh my God, like, I love your energy. She was, none of the other girls really like said anything that night. Yeah, it was Looney. Me and Kay was together the whole entire night. And Brandy, I said to Brandy, like, oh my God, we have so much of the same energy. But that's how the mixer went.
Just to touch up again, you know, you were saying obviously about because obviously that mix, obviously we see Cherie saying what she's saying. So obviously you didn't hear that because obviously it was a private conversation between her and the girls kind of
No,
talking.
not that conversation. The next day at the brunch, remember me, her, and Mike was sitting on the bench.
Oh, that conversation, you don't remember?
Yes.
That conversation.
Yeah, that conversation. I didn't even remember that until I saw it on the show. I was like, she said that shit to me, but I didn't even like. Maybe because the cameras and everything going on, it's a lot going on at the time. It's a lot going on. So I didn't even remember her saying that until I saw it on the show. Now, her, as far as talking with the girls, kind of took me by surprise because I'm like, I didn't know we were here to be judged by women. I never looked at none of them and said, I wasn't even watching them to say, who's this? And then for the people who say, oh, Dominika was loud, y'all wasn't even there. You wasn't even there. They will tell you, I've asked all the women, everybody will tell you that all of us we had a really good time. We had a really good time. We were at a pool party. For people, fans to say, oh, I was loud, you wasn't even there. How do you know how I was acting? You wasn't there. Unless somebody secretly recorded me. But I was doing just as much as any other woman was doing. You understand what I'm saying? So that part, but then I found out later on that production asked them that if a woman could go, who would it be? And that kind of took me by surprise too, because I'm like, why? They never asked me that. The whole entire night, nobody ever came to me and said, if there was a woman here, who would you want to go? Now, let me say this. We're mic'd the whole entire time, so they're listening. So maybe a conversation was had and they heard them talking, and so they decided to go over and make it a conversation because it's reality TV. They want something for people to be like rowdy about. You feel me? So I figured maybe that happened because the whole entire night, nobody asked me about another woman. Nobody. So because I was so confused of why they were sitting there having that conversation, and I asked one of the other castmates, like, why did that even come up? And she was like, production came and asked us. So that was that with it.
You know what? And I always say this: production are no fool. So okay, so I'm not saying about you. Actually, it's not even about you. It's about Sharice per se. They already, if when we talk about psychology, we talk about how people are going to react in certain situations.
Right.
They would have never asked you because you never would have given them appropriate answer.
Right.
That's the reason why they would never ask you. So they ask specifically that group because at least one of them would give an answer.
Absolutely.
Because that's how people they do. I'm guessing you guys did, your psycho tests and everything like that.
Yes.
They see how people move. So if I give them this thing, how would they react? Sharice took it and ran with it, and she ran with it because that's why I always say about I know production get involved and push people to do certain things, but the reality is they're pushing you because they know that you probably will say yes.
Will react to it.
Yeah. Yes. Which is what makes a TV. So it's that aspect of it. Yeah. So that, I mean, it still doesn't change the fact that the person said it though.
That's what I said. What we say is not control. We can say whatever it is. They don't tell you not to say anything. You can say whatever it is that you want to say. But the setup situation they put you in that. And like I said, maybe they were mic, so they heard them probably saying little stuff, not on camera, but being through the mic. And they said the perfect opportunity, let me go to this group and ask that question. Because when she told me that, I was like, they didn't ask me anything about no woman here. That's strange that they would ask you guys that. And she was like, they asked us, and that's what came about. Because I really wanted to know, why were they talking about it? She was like, we were asked. I was like, oh, okay.
Whew. Did Kayla come to tell you in the end that
no,
that's what
she didn't. She didn't.
So why is she saying a confession?
But she did. She never
didn't
told
come
me.
Tell you.
No, she never told me.
All right, so let me ask a question though. Shocking. I should have known. A question. Okay, so obviously they said that you were loud. Do you feel like that was unfair judgment in terms of being loud? Did any of the people explain to you what they meant by loud?
You can see on there, nobody, even at the reunion, Swayze said, I didn't think like, and I asked they was like, even the women, the other women besides Sharice, like, just like I said, me and Brandy had the same personality. We were doing the most. Me and Brandy doing the most. But it was just as if we were at a regular pool party, like if you were with your friends, because we were comfortable. Let me say that. When you're in a comfortable environment, you tend to be yourself. If they said I was loud, guess what? I have a loud tone, but I don't care. I had my thyroid removed, so I wasn't even supposed to have a voice. Okay? So being that I have a voice and my voice is loud, I don't care. My voice carry. It's fine. What I don't like, and this is going to bring you to the scene with me and Mike, is that they made it seem like I was ghetto and loud. You understand what I'm saying? Like that part of it, I didn't like. I can be loud. Listen, when I walk in a room, I own it. I like people. I'm a hang with you. We gonna hang out. I laugh loud. That's what I do. That's what I do. I do that. And if my voice carried, then that's fine. But don't make it seem like I was loud and obnoxious or ghetto with it. Like that's the part I didn't like about it. Them saying I was loud, it's okay. I could have not had a voice. It was either have a voice or not have a voice after surgery because it's close to your vocal cords. Listen, it's fine. I don't care about when people say I'm loud, but to say I'm ghetto and loud, we cut in two different things. Stage name, we cut in two different things. First of all, I don't even like bathing suits. That's number one. So when I found out we had to wear a bathing suit, I'm like, oh my God, do you know I was still at the store 11 o'clock at night trying to find a bathing suit I was comfortable with to be there the next morning. So to say, oh, I got my legs open, and then the fans is just like agreeing. Y'all saw me one time laugh on mic. That was it. They barely even showed me. Like, where do y'all get this from? And why were you watching me the whole time? You were supposed to be making connections. Why was your eyes on me for you to do detail by detail of what I was doing? And for people to promote that and say, oh, Sharice was right, or she was doing that, it just, that part of it really bothers me. I don't get mad about it because I'm like, you wasn't there. Like, it's so much that people are commenting on, and I know for a fact you wasn't there, so you just making a synopsis because you got fingers to type. It's okay. But I don't even like myself in bathing suits. So I know I wasn't like that because I'm not comfortable like that in bathing suits. So that's the whole gist of it. Like, them saying I'm loud is fine, but them to put like I was ghettoed all over the place, loud, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
Okay, so I think you might ask it, but I just want to make sure. So did any of the guys come to you and explain this loud? Because men are
only thing
very,
I heard from everybody was I was a homegirl. I was a home. That's the only thing I heard from everybody. Like, you the homegirl, we can hang out with you all the time. You have fun. That's it. The only person that I heard mention it was Mike on his green screen. He didn't tell me face to face. He didn't say that to me. But on his green screen, when they asked him about it, I heard that other people, like, they cut a lot of our green screens out too. And I heard that in the lounge that one more other person said something about me being loud. But that was it. That was it. It was Mike and one more other person. But because they didn't show that on that person green screen, or I didn't see that person saying anything, I don't have proof that you said it, so I'm not going to entertain it. You understand? And that was my beef. Not really my beef. That's what I had to get off my chest with Mike, because you end up being with somebody who has the same personality as I have. So was it more to the story, or you just didn't like me and want more? You know, I have people comment and saying, oh, you wanted Mike to pick you. I didn't even get a chance to talk to Mike like that, to say I wanted him to pick me. As I said to you, his physical appearance, yes, I like chocolate men. So, of course, he caught my eye. To say I wanted him, I didn't even know him. I didn't even have a serious conversation with him. What I knew about him was after I finished the show and the clips of us coming out, who was on the show, and people were blowing my phone up because somebody said Michael was on the show, and I said nobody was on the show named Michael. I didn't know his real name was Michael until people started calling me. Yeah, that's Michael. I said, we call him Mike. I didn't even know his real name on the show. So to say I wanted Mike to pick me, no, I didn't want Mike to pick me. I was the first person to go home. I didn't even know him. I didn't even know if he was my type. But physically, that's it. I didn't know anything about him to say, oh, I wanted a relationship with him. I didn't even get a chance to talk to him like that. The most we talked was there at the pool party. That's when I found out that we graduated the same year. You know, we was at grad night the same time. We had a lot of things in common. That's the most I talked to him. At the brunch, I didn't really get a chance to talk to him, but on that bench when y'all saw me and Sharice. So that was it. But his green screens about me is what blew me. And then when I have people calling me, oh, that's Mike that do this. And, oh, he friends with such and he used to work with me. I said, well, maybe he knew I knew y'all off the bat. Because, you know, people see people on social media. They start following social media. I didn't know what to think, because at the pool party, he was very like standoffish, as I said on the reunion. Like, you talk to me as if I had a gun in my lap, but I kept forcing the conversation because I wanted to break him in. And I even said to somebody, was like, they didn't want to talk to him or whatever. And I'm like, go talk to him. Maybe we just need to break him in. It's all new for us. You know, we filming. I even said that at the mixer, like, just keep talking to him. We probably need to break him in or whatever like that. I found out later at the reunion, he was like, oh, another thing too. One of my earrings had failed in the pool. He was the only guy in the pool. Samson had been in the pool. So I was like, Mike, get my earring. He really didn't want to get the earring. And I kept asking him, like playing around with him, asking him. And he finally got it. Then after the mixer, when I got sent home, he telling people like, oh, I ain't even want to get her damn earring. Like, it's a lot of backlash that people don't know that he was talking. He say he didn't say it, but people talk. So whatever you say, you got to be willing to repeat it. You understand? So he was like, oh, don't ask me nothing about her. I ain't even want to get, like, he had beef with me for some apparent reason. I didn't even get a chance to talk to you. So, you know, he just said, oh, I had kind of like brushed against his haircut at the reunion after we got off stage. He was like, it wasn't even like that. Like, they cut it up. Like, I don't even have the power to put you off by myself. They kind of cut that up. It wasn't like that. You know, we kind of had a heart to heart, and he kind of explained himself how he felt like production cut it up on the green screen or whatever, and how it read to me. But like I said, to me, you got to understand that when I'm on the other end receiving it, you saying it one way and I'm receiving it another way. So I couldn't wait to get to the reunion and address it, because I didn't have his phone number. Like I said, I don't know nothing about him. I just know what people called me and said, who he's dating and who his wife is. I didn't know none of that. Once his face got out there, he was on the show. They knew I was on the show. People called me. So that's my whole thing with him. And then I said to him too, we pretty much was raised in the same neighborhood. Like, people there live in Miami, but everybody is not from Miami. We know we from the 305. And they even cut out Tommy Pod when Tommy said, Dominique, I feel you because I'm from Boston. When I show up somewhere, everybody there better rock with me. And I said exactly how I feel. I felt like he had my back. And at the end of the day, I would have had his back because we both from the bottom together. I don't care if I would have went to the end, whatever I did to keep him on, because I feel like when you from the same hood, you stick together. And that's what that conversation was when I was saying to him about, we went to grad night. They kind of chopped it up so it looked like I was rambling. Okay. But that's the original conversation, was about being from the same place and taking care of each other while we in the company of other people. Like, you should have looked out for me because I would have did that for you, kind of thing. Like, I wasn't that much, because I'm like, you fell in love with somebody who had the same personality. And me and Brandy both said we got the same personality. So what was so different about me? You know what I'm saying? And being that we from the same place. So that whole going to class reunion, I mean the grad night and all of that stuff, where it made it seem like I was rambling. The conversation initially started because I said we from the same hood. Like, I felt like that green screen. You was like, I see that every day on his green screen. Like, I don't want nobody like that. I see that every day. Like, it to me, it felt like they was making me to be ghetto and hood, and I know that's not even me. Like, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna have fun, I'm the life of the party. Everybody will tell you that. But to say I'm loud and wild and ghetto, that's cutting it close with me. Like, if you're gonna say something, be honest about me. Don't try to demolish my character.
Whew, Chile. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me scoot back, because obviously I think where okay, so the comment about obviously being similar to Brandy, and then obviously saying about also as well being loud, like you said, I think they were trying to say something else in a sense,
Yeah, they
right?
was trying to paint a different picture.
Yeah. So okay, so it is unfortunate, you know, just from a male perspective, you know, that unfortunately two people can have similar personalities, but the way it presents itself can come out differently.
That's true. I can
So,
agree with you.
you know, so you and Brandy could both be laughing, but you have different laughs. Number one, probably, you know what I mean? The way your body moves when you laugh is gonna be different. The
I
words that
can
you
agree
might
with you.
use might be similar, but they might not be the same. And so what
Depending on who's
happens
receiving
is
it.
exactly, and one of the things I would say also is that I always talk about this tone, right? So men are very sensitive but they don't often talk about these things, that
Mhm.
we make decisions of little things. So just even, okay, so I'll give you an example. Hearing both your voices, you and Brandy's voice, right? To men, one of the things that can be very difficult is the pitch.
Uh-huh. And
So
I know mine is high.
yeah, so when it gets that high pitch, men are
Yeah,
like, oh god damn, we
I
can't.
can agree
And
with that.
meanwhile, you're just laughing. It's just
Right,
being you. You know what I
right.
mean? So I think there are slight differences in the sense the way that it's presented between yourself and Brandon. You might even have the same personality, but because you're two different people, it's going to be read in two different
Different ways.
ways.
I can
You know
agree
what I
with
mean?
that. I can agree with that.
And then with obviously the situation with yourself and Mike, we
Mhm.
know, okay, so you've let us know that Mike never necessarily didn't even have much of a conversation with you.
Mhm.
um but I heard something which I guess I want to get more of your understanding from. You said because you're from the same area,
Mhm.
you would have had his back.
Mhm.
But why would you expect him to have the same? I understand, coming from the same ends, coming from the same hood, came from the
Mhm.
same area. I get that.
Mhm.
But when it comes to relationships, and this is a game show plus it's a relationship show as well at the same time,
Mhm.
right? Maybe he also sensed that you were and you may not have not said nothing, but sometimes our energy reads, and men sometimes pick up on energy too.
Mhm.
He might have read that oh, we from the same area, so we should support one another. You know what I mean? So he might have felt like there's a little bit of
Sense of entitlement.
yes, an ownness, and there's an ownness on him to actually defend you. It's like, I don't
But
want to
but
be
we
in that
didn't
position.
we didn't have
You
that
know?
conversation to the reunion. So I had
Mm,
never had that conversation with him at the beginning. This was something that was said at the reunion. So he
mm,
wouldn't have had a sense of entitlement in the process because I never even had a chance to say it in the process. And I don't think if I would have went home, I would have even had to go there because it would have gave them more chances to see who I was. They don't know who I am. They know who I am now because of us going out on different little things and we hang out together. So people see a different perspective of me now. But at that point, we knew each other mixer. We was off for a whole week and a half because we had a COVID situation. So
mm,
when we went to brunch, that was like I hadn't talked to anybody. I didn't have anybody phone number, nothing. When we went to brunch, we relearning each other all over again because there was a break in between the mixer and the brunch because
mm.
of the COVID outbreak. So he wouldn't have felt like that then. It was not until the reunion when I said, like, listen, I didn't expect for you to go in on me like that. Like, he was like, I didn't. That's the way that they chopped it up and put it out there. Like, I didn't have no malice intent towards you. Yeah, I thought you was loud. He said it to me. He said, yeah, I thought you was loud, but I didn't have that's when we got an understanding at the reunion. Before then, when I left the show, I left the show. That was it. I didn't know anything about the show until I saw it, like you guys saw it. And then I was ready for the reunion. And in the midst of me waiting, watching the shows and the reunion, I get all of this stuff about Mike that I didn't know about Mike. Because like I said, we didn't get a chance to talk.
Did Okay, so how you felt about maybe we can have each other's back? Did you have that sentiment from the very beginning though?
No, I did not. I had no
So
reason to.
only so
I had
only
no
at the
reason.
reunion did you feel like
Only
if you have my
after
back,
I
I'll have
saw
your back.
his green screens and the way that he was, talking about me, that's what made me feel like that. I'm like, damn, he went in on me like that at the while I was on the show. I didn't have a reason to.
Mm.
Yeah, I didn't have a reason to.
Okay. I mean,
No, no, say it. We having a
huh?
conversation.
No, because I think even though you might have only expressed that feeling to the consciousness at the end, you'd have felt that way before then, because it's not a new thing you're thinking. You're already thinking, we come from the
Maybe,
same area.
maybe not.
You
They didn't give
know
me
what
a
I mean?
chance. They sent me home.
No, so I talk about something. I talk about this a lot on my channel, which is there's an unconscious energy that we carry, right? So
Uh-huh.
like that feeling of, you know what, if we're from the same area, we can support each other. Didn't just happen because it was at the very end that he trashed you.
Oh
No,
yeah,
this is,
I understand what you're
you
saying.
know what I
I
mean? You'd
understand
have
what
been
you're
still,
saying.
that's
Yes,
an ethos you carry. You know what I
yes,
mean? We're from the
yes,
same area,
yes,
back each other up, and
yes.
that energy actually itself speaks, even though we don't know it's speaking, because that we're from the same area. It's even in the looks that we give people. Like there are some subtle things that we do. Like I'm sure I don't know if you guys do this when we're in London, because we're black and we're not always the majority.
Uh-huh.
When we see each other, it's a great. Everybody knows what that means. That means, bro,
Right,
I got you,
right,
you got
right.
me.
I
You know
understand
what I
what you're
mean?
saying because
You see what I'm
that's what
saying?
Tommy said too. He was like, "I'm from B more, and when I go places and other people that from B more, like you better be with me." So yeah, okay, yes,
So
I
I think
understand what
maybe
you're saying.
he might have been anticipating that, and he might have also been anticipating. So it's not just fair to say just you. He might have also been anticipating, knowing that where you're from, this is what the kind of energy that we carry. We have each other's back, and so it may
Mhm.
have also on his side too made him feel a little bit claustrophobic. Not necessarily you might have done anything.
Right,
He might have also been jumping ahead of the gun too, to
right.
kind of be like, that's not what I came here for. I came here to kind of get away from that. I want
Yeah.
to get to something new.
Well, he
So maybe
said
that
it.
too was
He
also
said
there.
it.
You know what I
He
mean?
said it on his green screen. Like
Okay.
I see that all the time. Like so, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Okay,
You're
that's
absolutely
fair.
right. Yeah.
Okay, so that obviously happened, and then I guess obviously just to quickly break down one more time, just so we fully understand this comment about you and Brandy being similar. I think people are up in arms about this. When you say similar, what do you mean by similar? So we understand what you're saying. So it's very clear.
So let me explain the personality. Like when
Yeah,
Brandy comes in a room, her personality is big. When I come
yeah.
in the room, my personality big. Like I'm not just gonna come sit in the chair and wait till everybody else start. She wasn't like that either. When she walked in the pool party, her personality was big. She was like, "Hey," same thing. Like the energy was the same. That's what I'm gonna say. The energy was the same. The couple of times that we were in the same room, it was all the same. Like if I be like, "Hey, Tommy," that's something Brandy was doing too. Like, "Hey, Tommy," you always heard me and Brandy because our energy is
Mm,
big. So when I say that, that's what I mean. Like we had the same big energy.
okay, okay, that's fair. Okay. And so obviously then, we see you before I finish off for the mic situation. So Sharice obviously hit you up, and as she said that she hit you up and she apologized for her comments
Yeah,
as well.
because what they do is they send us the clips on Thursday. So like today we got the clips for tomorrow. Being that gonna be our first show, we had a group chat, like kind of talking back and forth. And we had been talking for a couple of days before it aired. So when they sent us the thing, everybody was in the chat like, damn. So yeah, so I went in, I was like, damn, Sharice, I didn't know you felt like that about me, and kind of laughed it off. So then everybody was making their comments in the, I can't remember what it says, it's been a long time, but everybody was making their comments in the chat. And so then she called me. I didn't answer at first because I didn't have her phone number saved. And then she called me back and she's just like, I want to apologize to you because I really think you're a wonderful person. We both were drinking and saying things or whatever. And I kind of just said, okay, like I accept your apology. But she has did several interviews. Even on stage, she tried to clean it up, saying, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that." It's either you meant it like that or you didn't. It's already been done. You know what I mean? You can't
Mm,
undo something that's already done. And so she called and apologized to me, saying, she didn't mean it like that. She think I'm a very great person. Like, we both were drinking and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, it's all good, Sharice. Like, I don't take stuff to heart. Like, that was our first day meeting each other. Everybody's
mm.
entitled to feel how they want to
How they
feel.
felt.
And that was it. And I really kind of was even kind of done with it. And then I had to relive it the next day because my friends and my family saw it. And I'm just like, they like, will she stay who she is? And I'm just like, listen, people are entitled to feel how they want to
How they
feel.
feel.
If that's how she felt, then that's fine. To me, it's the interviews and it's the comments. Oh, I'm from Baltimore, wherever she from, and that's what I said, what I said, and stuff like that. So on the back end, you calling me saying you didn't mean it, you apologize, all of us was drinking or whatever, and then on the front end of for social media for people out there, you say, oh, you meant what you said, and yes, she was out and she was lit, and that was that. But on the phone with me, you're not saying that. And even at the reunion, you didn't say that. You wasn't as boisterous about it, or I said what I said, or none of that at the reunion. You try to say, oh, you didn't mean dancing, I got a nice body, and you tried to sugarcoat it a little bit. But you said what you said, and I'm trying to figure out, how did you come up with that? So I still didn't even get the answer with how she came up with I was a stripper. Because she tried to say, oh, you could have been on any kind of stage. I'm like, you think they're gonna say I'm modern dancing? They would have thought you thought I was modern dancing. Like, so, and then her interviews and her comments on when people talk about it, she egging on instead of just not addressing it. Listen, I said what I said. I apologize to Dominika. We moving forward. We good. No, that's not her character. So that's it for me with her.
Definitely hear that. Definitely hear that. I ain't gonna lie to you on that.
Yeah, like, don't egg it on. Like, it is what it is. It's either you apologize, you didn't mean to say it, or you meant to say it, and that's what it is. Point blank.
I agree. I definitely hear that. I agree that. Back onto the mic situation. Obviously, during that reunion, you know, we got into a conversation. Well, you got into a conversation with Mike, and it was said about Strawberry Lady J.
Right. And so
now we want to make sure.
I have people saying, "Oh, I shouldn't have brought it up." Yes, I should have brought it up.
I said that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because let me tell you why I brought it up.
Okay.
When I tell you I was evil with him about the way he made me look and how I felt like he described my character, I was evil about that. And when people was calling to tell me, I could have went in, but that wasn't my motive to go end on him like that. I just wanted him to know, like, I got shit on you, and I could start up shit with you and say shit about you, but I'm not gonna say it because I could have went all the way in, but I didn't. And the reason why, for the people who want to know why I didn't say her name, because what you call the people, the strolls or the strollettes or the commenters and the bloggers, and I didn't need y'all in that lady page. That y'all are mean. Y'all are mean. And so I didn't say her name. I didn't say her sweet's name because I didn't want y'all inboxing this lady or going to see her page, going and see her and Mike on TikTok and all of that kind of stuff. So I refrained from saying her name because it wasn't about her. It was about Mike. It wasn't about her. So stop saying why I shouldn't have said it if I wasn't going to say her name. I'm not going to say her name. Y'all are mean. Y'all, this social media world is mean. I wouldn't have never said her name. And that's why I said I wouldn't have went all the way in, because I technically wasn't trying to be malicious like that. I just wanted to let him know if I wanted to start some stuff, like, I really could have started it. And this is what I do know, to let you know that I do have some stuff on you, but I ain't going there. And even when Brandy tried to defend him, and I said, Brandy, I love you to death. Like, this ain't about you. This about me and Mike. But again, I hadn't spoke to him. So in the back room, he kind of said, like, it wasn't even like that. Like, it wasn't even like I don't feel that way about you. I said, but that's how it came across to me. On the receiving end, that's how it came across to me. So we agreed to disagree. But that's why I didn't say the lady name, and that's why I didn't go there, because I don't need nobody inboxing that lady. It wasn't about her. It was about Mike. But I was said that to let him know, like, it's some stuff I could go in on you about, but I'm not doing it.
So what happened in between it? Because that was the first 3 episodes. So you guys only got to watch, like, I think 3 or 4 episodes by the reunion time. You don't get to watch all the episodes.
We saw all of them.
Oh, you meant to see all of them before the reunion.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all had a completely different experience than other people than usually.
Yes.
Okay. So if you got to see all of the episodes by then,
well, I'm not gonna say we got to see all of the episodes. We got clips that they wanted us to comment on.
Okay, to see on.
So they showed us clips on stage, and then he asked the question. So that's how that went. Because remember, they had our reunion really early in the season.
Okay, so let me ask a real honest question here. Why wasn't your frustrations addressed with him in the group chat rather than on the show?
It's only women in the group chat. It's a different group chat. I don't have Mike's number or anything. I don't follow him on social media, nothing.
So there was no was so could it have been another way you could have addressed this? Because it when I'm looking at it, I'm going, I get where you're coming from, but then it's like it's been weeks before that's actually happened. So then now you're saying to us you could have gone in deeper, which means that you were hurt at the moment. This is
Yeah,
the reason
I
why you said
was.
it. It was okay.
Yeah, I was. I did
Okay.
not like the way they portrayed my character. I did not like it. And I'll say it every time.
Okay. So then, okay, so obviously then that happens, but then it sounds like it's as if you were saying it was him that was causing you to that caused you not to be in the show or caused you to be exited from the show. Was that how the clip? Because that's how the clip was shown. But is that what you were
But
saying?
and listen, the clip showed like that, right? When I said
Yeah,
it to him, he was like, "You think I got power?" I say, "Listen, just because I got kicked off early don't mean I don't know what goes on behind the scene. I know how this go. I've heard stories producer come up and say, "What you think about this or what you want to do with this?"
yeah,
I know how they got their favorites. I know that.
of
So let's
course,
not make it seem like we don't know that producers don't get their favorites doing filming, and that's what happened. Because he said to me, "You think I got that much power?" Which y'all didn't see because they didn't show it, or maybe it happened
yeah. No,
backstage.
no, they should have, they should have,
Yeah, he like, "You think I got that much power?" And I'm like, let's be clear. We know that producers have their favorites. And
of
I've
course,
heard stuff that has happened with
of course.
producers having their favorite. Like, don't go there like, "Oh my God, I couldn't have said nothing, so you went home." And then two, go back to the question you're asking about, could I said it before? When I asked them at the brunch, like, what happened while I was at the bottom, nobody said nothing. That could have been a conversation too. He could have said to me how he felt on the green screen. He could have said to me face to face. He didn't say nothing either. So I wasn't trying to reach out to him or find out where he was or get his phone number, because I could have easily gotten it. It wasn't hard to do. I could have asked anybody for the number. No, I asked you a question at the brunch. You couldn't answer my question at the brunch. You got on your green screen. You ranting and raving about me. So I'm gonna try to reach out to you to squash something before we get at the reunion. When I ask you in your face at the brunch, like, what was it? And nobody said anything. Nobody said nothing
As in at the brunch, what
at the
nothing
brunch.
in terms of
Remember when they made it seem like that's all I talked about at the brunch? Like, why was I in the bottom? Why was I in the bottom? Why was I in the
oh,
bottom?
okay, yes. Yes.
So they made it seem like on the episode that that's all I asked about. And of course, from 10
It was
o'clock
more than
in
that.
the morning to 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I would not have been asking that the whole entire time. But they knew I was going to be kicked off, so that's what they put it as. But I asked everybody. Nobody said anything. The Randall was the first one that said, "I think you cool. I think you could be a good home girl. Don't worry about what was said, or don't worry about what happened, at the mixer. Just come be yourself." He was the only one had a gentleman conversation with me. Everybody else said, "I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't." All y'all was in the meeting because he meet with all the guys and asked them.
Hmm.
Not one time did Mike say, "Girl, you was too loud at that mixer," or "You came across ghetto, you need to tone it down." He didn't say anything. And I asked.
So okay, so you're saying that because you asked him directly, he didn't say anything in regards to the
Nobody said
answer.
anything but Randall. And the only thing Randall said was like, "I just said you was my home. You could be a good home girl, like you cool or whatever like that." Everybody else had no idea. They was acting delusional.
So the reality is, if all the men were acting delusional, means that they probably had the same idea. I'll be very frank with you. Men aren't very interesting creatures when they get into these type of situations. They all
Mhm.
had the same idea. I can guarantee if I also asked the men the reason why they voted you off, they would pretty much have the same idea. What men try to do is that they struggle with rejection themselves, so they don't like rejecting women the exact same way that they feel like they would be rejected. So
Mhm.
if the conversation was that, hey, we think she's a bit quote unquote loud, or you know what, because it's early doors, we don't really know people that much, we're just going to go off the fly of what we
But
saw.
majority of them said it in
Yeah,
a green screen that like I was a homegirl. Nobody said I was loud or ghetto or anything like that. And I
that
wasn't at the
comes with
green
it.
screen. And then even when I said it to them, I even told them, like, for me, dating, like, I never was told why the man did what he did. It always was,
Yeah,
it wasn't you. It wasn't you. And I said,
yeah.
this is whatever, however you feel, it's fine. And if you interview any one of them, you can ask them that I said this. However you feel is fine, but it's a learning point for me. I need to
I hear
know
you.
for me like where I messed up at, because I've never been told like, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, and that's why I cheated, or that's why, that's why I did this and that. I never was told that. So, we're meeting each other. Y'all don't know me. I don't know you. So tell me, because it's the learning process for me. I'm not saying it to be like, oh, if I didn't get eliminated, oh, because he said I was out, I'm going to vote him off next. And I said that to them. I said, I need to know this for me, not because I'm trying to hold it against you. And I said it to each one of them that I asked that to.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Men are... Yeah, do you know
me
what?
some
Men,
jewels.
men, you know what? Men, listen. A lot of times, men can be direct, but when they're not trying to be mean, they don't want to be. They don't want to. They don't want to. Look like the bad guy. Men can take a very obscure way. For instance, what Randall said ain't no better than the men not saying anything at all. Because what he really said is the men are not attracted to you. That's the language what he used. When you say someone's a home girl,
right,
that's what men mean.
And
So
I was okay with that, because I felt the same thing about them. So
yeah.
that's the time he asked me. He was like, "How did you feel about them saying you something?" I said, "I didn't have a problem with it. I have a lot of male friends, So it's okay. Everybody, not everybody cup of tea."
Yeah, I mean, I wish it was that way more. That men would be so much more open with the way they say their critique. Some do, but I think a lot of guys, when they get together, what they're trying not to do is they're really not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. You know what I mean? That's the reality, and that's why I said that. I know that by them not trying to say anything, if when they're going to say, oh, it's not you, it's us, or by saying it's not, you haven't done nothing wrong, that can't be true, because they've had to vote. So there's obviously a reason behind that, right? So I want to be frank. Listen, the producers might have asked Mike and said, hey, bro, who is it we're going to cut? Right? Mike might have given his discretion and said, hey, this is what I think you should cut, because this is the only these are the people I've got attractions with. These people I haven't. So here's one person you can cut. But the reality is, if the men were all together saying they were feeling you, the producers wouldn't have cut you, because you'd have been great for TV. Absolutely. So the power isn't only in Mike's hand. I think that's why Mike was a little bit confused. That's why I was a bit confused, because I was like, even if he had the final say, it's not because of Mike that they're saying this, because the reality is, if he and others were liking you, they keep you on the show, because they know you're gonna make great TV. You got links. So unfortunately, what's happened, I think, in this situation is, and that's why I said to you about earlier on about
we can agree to disagree on that. Trust me, it's a background to that.
Look, by all means, listen.
Guess what? No, I'm not gonna go there. Go ahead, finish.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I was gonna say, I mean, the same way you have a background, I also have some background too. So because I'm able to talk to certain things.
Do I need to cut on the light in here, because it done got dark?
Yeah, you can turn on the light, babe. You can turn on the light.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, that's all right, babe.
Yeah, the sun went down on us.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. It happened to me too. But no, I was saying, I was saying that obviously, on these shows, of course, listen, unless you were going to give them more explosion, because let me be honest with you, it's not look, unless you're going to give them more explosion, which is going to make great TV for them in terms of views and drama, right? It would make no sense for them to take you off if you are one of the top picks. And that's why I'm saying that it's not just him, because all it needed would be a consensus. Okay, guys, who are you feeling? Who are the top? And once the top is made, it's like, all right, cool, we've got the top. Now it could be down to 3 or 4 people at the bottom, right? But then they can, then that choice or decision, yeah, maybe one of them could have said, who do you think it should be? They could say that can happen. But the reality is, you would have been in the bottom 2, 3 anyway. So it doesn't need just Mike. It would have been a majority of the men making a consensus in terms of what their choice is. Because, like I said, if you were one of the top, you would have been at the top. So this is not an indictment on you. It's just to say that these group of men decided that this wasn't the angle they were going. I'm not saying that the producers don't get involved. I'm not saying they don't manipulate certain parts. I'm not saying they don't angle things. Like we know that they don't let certain people date. We know that they don't let certain people have conversations. We know they tell them certain information. We know we push people to do certain things. But at the very beginning, we're at the very beginning of the show. At the very beginning, this aspect doesn't need to be maneuvered. Whoever's great is great. Whoever's not great is not great. And then we move. It's later on in the decision process when we go, no, you're gonna make great TV, so we're gonna keep you. Yeah, we know,
Mhm.
right? Like the Cherie
Mhm.
situation. She had one connection. She shouldn't have been there that late. We know that
Mhm.
already, right? That's
Mhm.
great TV. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. We can see what can be great TV, and we can see also that actually, if you're voted out at the very beginning, just like old boy was as well, it's like, yo, the
Yeah,
group
I
didn't.
wouldn't have been fussing and fighting and carrying it on. No, 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 no. So
Yeah.
they would have, if they didn't vote me off then, I probably would have went the next show. I'm not gonna be doing all that.
Mm. Yes, and I know you wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So then, that I'm trying to present that case to say I just didn't feel like it was my cologne. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that Mike doesn't have favor. We know they have favorites on the show, but I'm just saying in the reality is
I
he,
understand
yeah,
exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Okay, that's fair
I
enough.
just when you have background knowledge of what
Mm,
happened, that's why maybe I felt that way. You understand what I'm saying? Like
hmm
when you're hearing stuff from saying, okay, this what was said, and then too, um, because they didn't say I wasn't loud, but they said I was a homegirl. That demolished
mm,
me too, because it's like really everybody not looking at you to be in a relationship. But then people see most men and say, "Oh, I want to be friends with my mate or whatever like that." So maybe I was too much of a friend. So even though it wasn't him by himself, we can agree on that. The fact that they were saying too, like I was a homegirl kind of thing, had something to do with it too, because they something about a point system and all of this kind of stuff, how they make
mm,
the decision, which is fine. Because like I
mm,
said, I've hung out with most of them afterwards, and we probably wouldn't have made a couple. You know what I mean?
mm.
We're really good friends. You know, we hang out, we can laugh and talk together, and so that's fine. I mean, I don't have any ill feelings about being on the show or meeting the people that I did. I don't.
And I'll say, this the homegirl term is honestly for reality for men. Sometimes it's the environment you're in. It's just not the right kind of guys. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So that's
So many
that's
people
also.
reached out to me, even from other shows, like past, Ready to Love. They was just like, you didn't fit in. Like it wasn't your group or whatever. So take that as
Mm,
a great thing that you went off early. I was like, yeah, I kind of felt that. I kind of felt that because
mm.
honestly, I can't say there was anybody on there that I probably would have made a connection. But then again, I went off so fast, I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't get to know each other like that.
Mm. I mean, do you know what? I think this is good. Do you know, let me, because you know what? Every year this happens, I never get to challenge it. So I'm going to
Okay.
challenge it.
So you chose me.
Yeah, I've chosen you, unfortunately. You know what? We've met at a kindred time where I'm also growing in my masculinity, as they say.
Oh
Okay.
Lord.
I let me ask this question: do you feel? Because I think homegirl normally sometimes they use that for attraction, but sometimes also as well, it's you're almost too comfortable being around men.
It could be. I can agree with that. I'm comfortable with being about around people that I connect with, period. It's not
Mm,
just men or women. If I feel your energy and I feel like your energy is good, I'm comfortable with you. I love people. I said that at the beginning. I love people. So that could definitely be. I'm comfortable around people. If I feel your good energy, you're going to know if I don't feel your energy because I'm not going to sit next to you, hold a conversation and nothing. If I hold a conversation with you and I feel a little bit comfortable, yeah, I'm going to be comfortable. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. I'm probably too comfortable.
and do you feel? Is my next question, Diamond Duster?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you feel? Do you feel? And this is it's contextual, so it's within the reason of the show. Do you feel like as well that around the men that you were able to be in your most feminine energy though?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm,
I think I didn't think about it, but from what I can recollect from the meet and greet and the brunch, yes.
mm. I only asked that because knowing obviously we have similar backgrounds, men
Mm-hmm.
and women are affected differently when we have similar situations, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we're affected differently. Um, for men, it becomes almost toxic masculinity because you become very ardent in the way that you want to execute, challenge, lead, all that kind of things. It can become toxic. For women, it can become too much masculine that the men repel from that person. So that's why I was asking how comfortable you are, because one of the things that men look for, especially, is, do you make me uncomfortable? When I say uncomfortable, not an uncomfortable like oh my god, like it's an uncomfortable. It's like, oh, do you know what, like she puts me on edge a little bit. You know what I mean? Like sometimes getting on with me too much is now making you one of the boys. Like, you know what I mean? You
Right.
cracked open. I'm not saying you did this, by the way. I'm saying, like, I'm giving a very radical example.
You
We
know
we
what?
walk.
I don't know, but you have to
Mm,
ask them. I don't think so. I don't think
mm,
so. Like, I've talked to them outside, and I don't think that they felt that way. Even when I had a
mm,
conversation with Mike afterwards, I didn't think that he felt that way. Um, I just hold on to that green screen too long, and it had me in an eerie feeling. But when we had our talk, I didn't feel like he felt that way,
mm,
actually, because he explained himself a little bit more of what he meant and what he said and how it was chopped up. And even Brandy had said, no, Mike always say like you real, like you was good people and stuff like that, even when we watching the show. But this all happened at the reunion again. You know what I
mm,
mean? So I don't think it's something that you would have to ask them. Um, I don't think so, but I don't know because I haven't gotten that like somebody's reserved around me or whatever. Like Randall always check in. LJ is really good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. Swayze really good with me. That's just I don't know. That's something that you would have to ask them. I don't know if I set that off like that.
mm.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
okay. So let me ask you a question. It's a bit wild, but it's within context.
Really, come on, bring it
It's a bit
all
wild, but it's in
in.
context. Uh, physique. It's gonna sound so wild, but physique wise, you got a good physique. You have a little bit of a
I think so.
you got a little bit of a Nash. You got a bit of a bum.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so I think we saw a bit of physique, so I ain't gonna lie to you. We saw some physique, you know what I'm saying, babe?
Okay.
He was looking good. Um, so one of the you know what, this is one of the hardest things I think, because it's an unsaid thing, right?
Okay.
Um, if you look a certain way, whoo, baby, if you look a certain way, right, you almost can't be like if you see like it's almost like when you see a pretty girl, she can't be too nice. If you become too nice, you actually erode the mystery behind your beauty. If you're a girl that's got a physique, you can't be too comfortable, because then you do become the person either we're trying to smash or we do become the homie, right? So you have to almost keep a mystery about you, that there's something you have to create some kind of a gap where it's like, we want you, okay, we want you, and we need a little bit of a chase. Doesn't mean we need to chase forever. I'm just saying it's about holding the perfect tension. And that's what I was asking. Are you comfortable? Because unfortunately, depending on how the look of you and how we see, there's a certain tension you have to hold. And women do this to men too. A certain guy looks really, really handsome and he's almost too nice. It's like, oh my God, he's sickly nice. Oh my God. And it becomes too much. We make these kind of,
I think you like as a woman, and
you
people
know,
could come in and say, when I was younger, yeah,
he was a
I
diamond dust, he was
wouldn't think,
naughty.
yeah, when I was younger, I would say like he too nice, like,
Mm,
mm-mm.
mm,
You
mm.
know what I mean? At my age, I don't think like that. And so, as far as me, like to me, you giving me too much to think about when I show up. You
Mm.
understand? I gotta say, am I wearing the right thing? Because I feel like I'm sexy. Should I tone it down a little bit? Should I say no to the drink? Like, I don't want to be in a position where I'm constantly thinking to get
About it.
somebody, or I'm constantly thinking, like, what are they thinking, or how they're going to receive me. I will be single. I could tell you this for the rest of my life. If that when I show up, I'm gonna show up as Dominica. I am gonna show up who I am. And when I find him, he's gonna love me for exactly who I am. I can't constantly show up places thinking about, okay, well, if I got this on and I'm showing my butt, I gotta be reserved. Or if he come up to me and talk to me, I can't take the first drink because I gotta act like I'm not really interested in him. Like, to me, I mean, I take my hat off to the women that's doing that when they go out. I can't do that, baby. I just can't do that. I can't do that.
So I'm not asking you to necessarily. I mean, I am, but I'm not. So
You
I
teaching
really
me
am.
some jewels, though.
I,
You have to be my
I,
little
I,
mentor. Like, I'm going out tonight. What I gotta say? This is what I'm wearing.
to be fair, it's a language that once learned doesn't need to be kept untold. So it's a language one learns, and the more I'm learning about how men are moved by instinct, the more I'm able to talk about the language, which is why I was explaining it. It's not to say necessarily you're wrong. It's to say that how people are going to perceive you before you get there, because what men are actually looking for. So it's not a thing where you have to, I'm going to think about every single thing I say and everything I do. No, once you get to have like an outside perspective of how it looks for men, it starts to piece together itself and make sense for you. It's a language in itself. It's like learning French. You start learning French now, at first you're going to be annoyed because it's like it's a whole new
ball.
language you're having to learn. Do you know what I mean? But actually, this is also a part of dating that people sometimes, some people have it already naturally. And I'm saying this from perspective. That's why I asked about the physique, because it happens to pretty women too. Pretty women who are too nice get rejected because you're too nice. Because what men are understanding psychologically is, if you're this bad and you are this nice, it means if I get you, someone else going to come along, you're going to be that nice too. So it's all about the psychology. That's what I was trying to bring the psychology. Not say that you're not a beautiful woman. You're very pretty. Very, very, very pretty. I'm loving the look too. You know what I'm saying? I'm, you know what I'm saying? And I love the fact you're introspective. I love the fact that you're conscious and you are aware, very, very aware. And I'll be honest with you, you're probably the only person, one of the few people who've come on the show and actually been self-aware to a tilt, that has taken accountability for actions. I asked you about strawberry. You said, yeah, I said it because I was hurt. Well, that's it is. And I didn't have to push on that again because you genuinely took accountability for that. So that in itself is a superpower. And actually, to be honest, that will also mean as well, some guys will not also want to be around you because they're also not that aware. So I'm very much understanding of that. But there should be a law that even though you've got that awareness, there's something that draws them in. Now, you may not choose them, because you might realize none of y'all niggas are even healthy, okay? Which I don't think many of them were. So,
Right.
All right. So I'm just saying, so they should still want to be drawn to you, but you then get to make the choice and say, none of y'all are actually healthy, and then you can say, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So that's why I say that.
I'm grateful for this.
You know?
Yeah, I'm grateful for
So I
this.
appreciate you.
I received that. Yes.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah. So, okay, coming to the end of the journey, what did you learn about yourself from Ready to Love? Like, going through the process, the experience, what did you learn?
I wasn't there. I didn't go through the process.
You were on it for a short while. You had a few mimosas. What did you learn from the mimosas? Because you had one or two mimosas. Were the mimosas good?
Let me tell you what I can say is, I actually go into things, and maybe you can probably consider it as a little naive, maybe. Okay. I went into this process like, and this is from me to the other women. Okay. I didn't go there to dig into other women. You know, I didn't go there to say I needed friends, because I have a whole bunch, but I gained friends from there. I gained some close relationships from there, which was a plus. But the way that women look into women and they like detail them and they pull stuff out, I guess I gotta be more assertive of my surroundings, because when I go places, like, I don't feel like as a woman I need to go and pull the bad stuff out of you or look for something bad into you. We will connect or we won't connect. And even if we don't connect, don't mean that I need to look for something bad in you. You understand what I'm saying? People just don't mix, and it's okay. It happens every day. It happens every day. But in this process, and not even going on a journey, just like hearing a backlog and hearing different things, because you build relationships with people and you hear the stuff that's going on. Like for people to be malicious to people just for no apparent reason, it kind of like took a loop from me, because I really didn't go to the process for that. I'm really thinking we like a speed dating on steroids. When people ask me what it's like, that's what I say. It's speed dating on steroids. It's just that you dated somebody, you cheated on, you didn't know you was in competition. This, you know, you're in competition. It's the same thing. So, like, let me stop touching my hair before they say, oh, she touching her hair too much. Like, see, that kind of stuff, like, you gotta be, people look and dig into the littlest things about you instead of just loving on people. You know what I mean? Like, if you connect, you connect. If you don't, if I don't connect with you, why I gotta dig out the little sensitive thing like you touching your hair too much? That part of the journey, not just with me and Cherise, with some of the other ladies too, that was something that I guess I've never been in really like a group setting of women that I did not know. I'm always with my friends or with my family. So I've never really had to understand it. But to see it, it's just like I don't like that. You know, I don't never want me to be in that position where I show up to a place where other women are there and I'm gonna find something to pull that's negative about them. So that is one thing that I can say that really was a part of my journey that I was like another eye opener about.
I love that. Whew, Chile, I love that. This has been a good conversation. I appreciate
yes,
you.
It's been excellent. I loved everything about it. You taught me some jewels. I got to go back to the drawing board.
Not at all. Not at all. Added weapons. Added weapons. That's what it is. It's added weapons to the arsenal.
Yes. That's what I'll take it as. Yeah.
Is there anything that we can support? Anything we can get behind that you're doing at the moment? Any projects that you like us to kind of show support for?
I do interior design. I haven't been doing it lately. I have a podcast that I'm on Wednesdays. We're starting season 2.
Love that.
We have 2 things that we've recorded. I really been trying to get on some home makeover shows because that is my passion. Is to be a part of a home makeover show or start doing that more because I'm at peace when I'm doing it. I'm at my sanity when I'm doing it. I love to do it. I did a couple of homes and then my 2 partners moved away. So I haven't been taking on so many projects because depending on what they want, it's a lot. But I want to get back into it. So for now, it's just my podcast and it's Flavor. That's my name on my podcast. It's called Flavor. I hated it at first, but now I love it. It fits my personality so much. Talks with Lori Dewey. You can find us on YouTube. And we're just starting season 2. You can go back and watch some other shows and you can really see my character on there because I'm really like, what? And we really get deep into some conversations and you can really get to know me besides me doing one-on-one interview. I'm in my comfort zone with my co-host and things like that. But for now, I'm thinking about writing a book. I'm just taking a woosah right now.
No problem at all. No problem at all. We like to hear it. Get me. I like to hear it. Make sure you send me a link so I can put it in our description box so people can also follow it as well. You know.
I will.
But again, thank you so much for coming through, Dominika.
Thank you so
they're
much
asking for your IG. They're asking for your IG.
She is _Domi Nicole. And you can put it in the chat as well. Or if I put it in this chat, can you put it?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, I can do.
Okay.
And there, so you guys can follow her as well.
Yes.
In the meantime, audience, thank you so much.
Yes, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you got to see another side of me. I really can't say I had a lot of backlash. I really can't say that I have a whole bunch of followers. People inbox me, people pray for me. Like, it's been that part of it has been amazing. I was off Twitter for so long. Oh, thank you, Nika B. I appreciate you. She put it in for me.
Yeah.
Um, I was off Twitter for a while, and one of my friend guys was like, "You gotta get on Twitter because that's where it go down at.
You be
That's
going
where they
down, baby.
that's where it go down at." And so I've had some amazing people to reach out to me. I got a whole bunch of followers. There's more to come. Stay tuned on this journey that I'm going on. So when I do meet my Prince Charming, you guys are a part of it. So I'm manifesting it in the air because I'm ready for my person. And that's it. I'm gonna send you a link to the YouTube channel for the podcast, and you guys go catch up and watch some of the old shows. We have 2 new shows, and you can really get to see me at my comfort zone with my people and find out more of my character too as well.
Come on.
I'm so grateful for this interview. I didn't know what to expect as any other interview. I never knew what to expect. I'm like, this gonna be my last interview. This gonna be my last interview.
We tired.
But I had an amazing time with you. Thank you for
Thank
setting
you.
that tone before we went live. That is always a plus. I start my day out like that every day. And it was just a blessing. You gave me some weapons to use.
Some weapons, baby.
And I'm
Man.
grateful for it.
No, I appreciate it, honestly, man. Thank you again, Dominika. It's been an absolute pleasure. And, again, we appreciate your awareness and, your ability to take accountability. It's such a powerful weapon to have in your corner as well. And we appreciate it on the channel. So, honestly, more props to you. Yeah, we know we'll follow your journey.
Send me the link for this because you didn't send me a link for it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll send you a link for this. I'll send you a YouTube link for it so you can go there.
Yeah, so I can get people to come who's not on to watch us.
No doubt at all. I got you. But listen, audience members, it's been amazing. It's been powerful.
If you need anything from me, you need me to talk or come somewhere, just let me know. I'll be there. I don't have a schedule.
We'll bring you back on. Listen, we'll get you to come back on. We may even need you for next season. Review, baby.
Next season should be interesting as well.
We're gonna need you to review, okay? We need some help. But yeah, listen, audience, it's been amazing. It's been great. Thank you so much for coming through. We came through 600 strong. You guys came through and showed love, and I appreciate that. As always, guys, listen, make sure you like it, you share, you subscribe, you click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. I think Jay's even saying she wants to get you, so I'll pass Jay. Jay's one of my panelists. I'll pass her details to you as well. She's great as well. But yeah, so audience, we'll see you again soon. And don't forget as well, if you haven't joined the community already, we are on Discord. We're having our own community now. You guys wanted to talk about TV shows and interviews and all those kind of things. You want to have a little community space. That's where it is. Make sure you sign up to the Patreon as well. And don't forget, again, once more, like, share, subscribe. And we'll see you again later on this evening in about 2 hours time for Married at First Sight. Much love and appreciation, guys. We'll see you again very, very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.